Webcasting from Southeast Kansas. I'm Jonathan Switzer, and this is the Roboblog Chronicles, episode 11 and a half, covering the comments thread for the Art of the Shadow Chronicles episode. Okay, so I got my laptop here. I got my caffeine to sustain me through the next 10 minutes. Let's get ripping into the thread. Ryan asks, does this book give an explanation of why the Robotech 3000 project was axed? It does give an explanation. I'm going to read from the book here. When a trailer for the series was first presented at FanimeCon and Comic-Con International in 2000, the attendees resoundingly rejected this proposed interpretation of Robotech that many believed had lost touch with its anime roots. So, critical drubbing from the fans is what the book says axed the project. On the other hand, my recollection at the time is that, and I'm not sure whether this was a result of Harmony Gold going, I guess this is a bad idea, or this was the cause of it, but I remember Netter Digital, going out of business sometime around 2000, 2001. So, one or the other. Now, that's the version of the story that the book gives you, and of course the book's going to give you the best possible glowing version, because, because they're still working with Jason Netter, I suppose. Anyway. Rosic asks, do you know if this book will be produced in a hardback version? If you'll recall, Robotech Art 1, 2, and 3 all were released in, I think, faux leather editions with nice slipcases, and, I think they were signed too or something. And as for this book, I sincerely doubt it. No, I just don't see that happening. No, it's like, we're probably not getting hardback versions of the novels. There's just not enough interest in the franchise at this point. I'm surprised that there was enough interest in the franchise when Sentinel's book, Art 3, came out to warrant a hardback edition. But then again, maybe Dawning Books thought, we'll just do this to match the other copies. But I could be wrong, but so far as I know, no, I don't think so. JHC, man, have you gone through and attached post-it notations to the book already? No, those were just to guide me through the episode. I haven't gone through and annotated the book yet. I agree with you on the art details. There could be more, but what we do get isn't that bad. I would definitely agree with you on the character stuff, on the mecha. No. It did seem that a lot of the actual art was replicated from the RPG books, or at least was vaguely similar. Well, they're feeding from the same trough, the original Mospita line art. Most of the grandfathered-in designs, the Alpha Fighter, the Shadow Fighter, they used original Mospita line art. I gave you the example of the Shadow Fighter. The Shadow Fighter in that line art does not match the Shadow Fighters we actually see in the Shadow Chronicles animation. Shadow drones are put in the art book. I don't remember seeing any shadow drones in the Shadow Chronicles. Maybe they're way back in the background, like the Horizon V dropships, but anyway, JHC continues, I almost wish they'd gone with the heftier Alex Romero design, as it's got a little more personality than the one used in the film. True, but by the same token, wouldn't you say that the animators gave Alex Romero plenty of personality? Seriously? I think the beefier design would have just further hammered home the fact that, he is in the Ben Dixon role in the Shadow Chronicles, as compared to, exactly what, the fate that Ben Dixon had in the Macross saga. He's the, best, heavyset best friend, life of the party, comic relief, who gets killed off to make the main character even more downbeat and depressing. And Marcus Rush didn't need that help, really. But I just think that design would have really made it feel like a much more hollow retread of Macross. Anyway, and JHC wraps up with, I still think the book is definitely worth the cost of admission. And, I can't say that. I can't say whether or not it is, because I didn't have to pay for my copy, because I worked on it. So, I'm just presenting you with my impressions and my thoughts, and, you can go ahead and, decide whether or not you want to shell out, $20 for it or not. Anyway, Matt says, first time poster, recent-ish listener. While I honestly can't say if Shadow Chronicles would have brought me into the fandom cold, I can't say it brought me back into it. Love the blog, and it's a great way for me to ease back in. Out of curiosity, have you ever thought about doing a Chronicles on the RPG? Besides watching the show as a kid, it's the only thing that sustained me until the Shadow Chronicles. Well, the thing is, I don't have any role-playing game experience, personally. I think I once played like a two-man, plus the Game Master game of Mechton Zeta in high school. And I had plenty of other opportunities to play RPGs in high school, and I would go there with my friends, and then they would just spend all night talking about old campaigns. So, I don't have that kind of experience. What sustained me through all the years was the comic books. And, picking them apart and seeing how they intersected and intertwined, and, mapping out the continuity and stuff. That's what really kept me going. So, that's something I might do a blog about, but, a video blog about. I have an entire other blog for that indulgence. But, as for the RPG, I just don't have that experience. And then MedMap guy says, hey Captain, the book does seem lackluster, doesn't it? I wish they'd get a better layout artist, because you really don't go to art books for the screen grabs. I know. I mean, it's got a lot of nice character art in it. I'll give it that. It does an okay job with the different locations, but really, the mecha section, if you want mecha stats, if you want mecha art, I'd say hold off until the RPG comes out. Cross your fingers for the RPG, rather. Because that's going to have all that stuff in it. The hard details, line art, drawings, and such. I think the mecha section here is rather underwhelming. The art, the CG stuff, the diagrams for the beta, for the Shadow Beta, for the pack on the back, those are nice. The Hadenite stuff, that's still hard to follow. The only good line art is Old Mospita line art. The Shadow Elf, I'm still not sure what the equipment looks like, because the screen grab has too low a contrast, and the diagram drawing also doesn't have very good contrast. So, I'd say if you're really interested in mecha stuff, cross your fingers to the RPG. On the other hand, the character art in here is nice, and, hey, your old pal Captain JLS wrote some stuff for it. Yeah, I know, it's a totally self-centered wish, for, you pick it up just because, hey, I worked on it, my picture's in there, but, I can't help it. But, if that's not enough for you, well, there you go. So, on that note, this is Captain JLS, signing off.